Hey there, how are you today? It's Bolanle Oladejo here at the Couples Club. Today I'll be talking about three major things you must do whenever you're going through a season in your life. And this is to do with your marriage. There is a platform that magnifies everything about us in life, and that's marriage. Marriage sort of magnifies everything. Everything you are will be magnified in marriage. Everything your spouse is will be magnified in marriage. That's just the truth. And the fact that the two of you are now coming out together, forming this union, forming this partnership will even make it more magnified. Every fault you have will be magnified. Every fault your spouse has will be magnified. Also, your strengths, if you do allow them to come out. But when you do go through challenges, there are three major things you must do for yourself. Number one, embrace the challenge you're going through. Now, some people may say to me, why should I accept the challenge that I'm going through? Yes, you must not live in denial. Accept that there is a challenge. There is a problem here. We have a situation. It might be financial. It might be emotional. It might be sexual. It might be communication. Accept the season you're in. Accept the problem you're going through together as a couple. Take responsibility for your problem. That's number one. If you do not accept your situation, you cannot even move to the next phase of reviewing and perhaps, finding a way to resolve that problem. So the first thing you need to do is accept what you're going through. If we have a problem of communication, what do we want to do about it? If we have money problems, what do we want to do about it? If we have sexual problems, please don't live in denial. Accept that there is a problem. If your spouse is complaining, don't deny and don't lie. Don't live in denial and say, no, it's not happening. No, I'm doing my best. No, your best may not be good enough. And you need to talk about it and then find out how you can resolve it. That's number two. Find out ways you can resolve your problem. Over the years, as we've counseled with couples, we've realized that there are times where people just whine about their problems without doing anything about the problem. You're constantly complaining about your spouse. What have you done about it? Are there measures that you've taken or steps that you've taken to ensure that that behavior does not continue? Or are you even enabling the behavior? Sometimes we enable abuse. Yes, you keep accepting it without taking measures. Who have you reported that situation to? Who have you spoken to? What steps are you taking to make sure that you're not put in harm's way? Yes. Have you restricted your spouse in certain ways by the way you stand your ground and say, no, look, this will not happen again. In this marriage, I'm not going to accept this. And there's nothing wrong with us saying no. Please encourage your children, even from a very tender age, to learn to say, no, don't do that to me. Don't speak to me in that manner. Don't treat me like this, please. This is how I like to be treated. This is how I like to be spoken to. Let's encourage our children. I don't want to deviate. But what steps have you taken to make sure that you start to resolve that problem one step at a time? Have you reviewed the problem to see that, look, this must not continue in our home. It's our home. Don't treat your marriage as, just another property. No, it's your life. It's your marriage. Take responsibility. When something happens, sit down together. We have a problem here. Accept it. And the next step, we start to do something about it. And then number three thing that most people don't do is to learn lessons from their problems. When something happens in your home, don't just see it as the devil at work. Yes, of course, the devil does cause a lot of problems. He does. He's the accuser of brethren. He will always cause problems. From the beginning of time till now, he has three major assignments: to kill, to steal, and to destroy. It's clear. But when we go through challenges as a couple, we must learn lessons from it. How did we get here? Why? Were we careless? Did we not put boundaries in place? You're always falling into the sin of adultery. Did you not put boundaries in place? And now that you realize that you're doing it over and over, what boundaries have you set in place? Who are you accountable to that you can report yourself to and say, no, I'm getting into masturbation again. I'm getting into this behavior again. I'm hitting my spouse again. I'm insulting my spouse. I don't know what's wrong with me. What lessons have you learned? You start to think about all these lessons you've learned. Why did my spouse behave the way he did or she did when I spoke to her in a certain way? Then you learn next time not to do that. Very simple. But there are times we just complain and complain, but we're not learning and we're not growing. We have so many resources in our day and age, too numerous to count. We are so blessed. I count us as a blessed generation, I must say. Yes, people say there are so many troubles, of course, but we are also a blessed people. Why? We have too much resources out there that will really help our relationship, but many times we're not applying them. If you really want to heal from your situation and you want to move from that destructive season you may be in right now, your marriage, you want to move into a better season, then you need to, number one, embrace the season you're in. Number two, start working on how you want to resolve it or get out of that season. And then number three, keep the lessons you have learned so that you're not just repeating problems and challenges in your home.